Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm making this quick video to address a certain concern I've had. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and read a lot of comments and see what other people are up to with their 8th gens, 9th gens, 10th gens, their Civic SIs for that matter. So I kind of wanted to share my advice from a long history of my experience with this car and kind of looking back on it, what the best advice I can make to someone that's just starting to modify their Civic Si, which is the most cost-effective way to do it and also the proper way to do it. Some of you may be disagreeing with some things I have to say coming up here, but the fact is what I'm saying is pretty much my advice. You can take it however you want, but I believe it's the absolute truth behind modifying your Honda platform. So my biggest advice is if you just got a Civic Si or any other Honda that you want to modify and tune and get more horsepower out of, make sure the first thing you do is get a tuning solution. This here is Honda Flash Pro, and this is one of the first mods I got for this car. I got it right when I got an intake. So a lot of people start modding their car and the last investment they make is a Flash Pro, and I know that K-Tuner is a new platform that's being used on the 10th gen, and I believe maybe the 9th gen uses K-Tuner as well. That's another tuner solution to reflash your ECU. So my biggest advice when modifying your Civic Si is to piece together all your mods you want from the start. So if you know you want to run a full bolt-on setup, don't go buying an intake, putting it on the car, running it on the stock ECU. Don't buy a header without a cat and put it on the car and run it on the stock ECU. Don't buy a catback. If you keep the header and the cat stock, you may be able to get away with just a catback. It shouldn't affect the ECU too much. But if you're going to start changing major things like a larger diameter intake and a race header without a cat, make sure you have a tuning solution to go with that from the beginning. You may run your car without a tune and put these parts on and it sounds louder, it sounds faster, and you get on it and it sounds more aggressive and your butt dyno feels a little faster, but the truth behind it is you can't really feel what the engine's feeling on the inside. You don't know what air-fuel ratios you're running, and you don't know what the engine's going through internally. It may feel better, but it could be running extremely lean or extremely rich. If you add mods to the car that make it more free-flowing, it's more likely going to run leaner and not have enough fuel provided to the engine, which can cause things to run hot and actually burn certain components out inside the engine. It creates a lot of heat. So the most cost-effective way and the proper way to really do it is figure out the setup you want from the start. That's how I did it with the supercharged setup back in 2014. I got all the parts I needed, I put them on the car in one shot, and I did not use any crummy Honda Basemaps. Whatever you do, those tunes are just made to get your car from your garage to the tuning shop. It's not meant to daily drive on those Honda Basemaps because you may flash your car and the throttle response will be better and everything. So I've seen this a lot on YouTube, people running Basemaps and getting on their cars, rubbing them out to redline all the time. And if you're not monitoring your air-fuel ratio live, and if you're not very conscious of all those things and have that information in front of your face when you're doing your pulls, you really have no idea what's going on inside the engine, and you could be hurting it more than helping it that whole time. So again, to summarize, get all the mods you want from the start, buy a tuning solution, and right when you put all the parts on the car and figure out the setup you want, take your car to either get a dyno tune or start an e-tune with a reputable e-tuner. I have my car tuned by Viper. He's a very well-known Honda tuner in the new Civic Si community, so I'd recommend him. I know his prices have gone up a lot. I think it's like $350 now for an e-tune. However, they're just as good as a dyno tune, if not better, because your fuel economy will significantly increase since he does spend a lot of time tuning your park throttle parameters for the street. And I get 35 miles to the gallon with my supercharged setup when I keep my foot out of it on the highway, which is actually better than a stock 8th gen Si. So whatever you do, get your parts you want and get a real tune. Don't be running Basemaps and thinking you're all fast and stuff. Your car may be faster and may actually run faster times. However, you don't know unless you're monitoring it very closely if you're dangerously lean or running rich or if your parameters are where they should be. So getting a custom tune right from the start is the best possible thing you can do for your car. And if you can't afford it, then don't put the mods on from the start. Your priority when modding your car should be the tune, not the parts you put on the car. It may make the car sound different and it may feel different, but your priority should be getting a custom tune for the car that is specific to the mods you put on and not running some Basemap that comes with Flash Pro or K-Tune. Now a lot of you guys may say, oh, I've been running a Basemap for years and years and haven't had any problems. Well, that's great. I'm not saying that you will have problems with it. I'm just saying that your engine's not running to the optimum spec it could, and it could be hurting itself inside and you will not even feel it. So that's my advice for the day. Take it how you want, but I've been in the Civic Si game since 2010. I've had this car for 8 years. I've had some experience modifying it, and that's really the most cost-effective way you can modify your car. Is get all the parts from the start and tune it once. If you get it tuned for an intake and then you put a header on next year, you're going to pay for a retune. So if you space your mods out through so many years and do a tune every single year to that mod, you're wasting a lot of money. So really guys, just buy the mods, and if you can't afford the mods, don't put them on your car yet if you can't afford the tune. Figure out the setup you want, put everything on the car at once, get it tuned once, and enjoy it. Thanks for watching guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you think any of the stuff I said was a bunch of crap. I'd like to hear from you guys. So thanks always for watching, and I'll see you next time.